Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, lounging with Lisa, the video series that knows me lounging. While coming at you with thoughts of the day, wanted to tell you today's the actual day of Zoe's birthday. She is 18 today, and she likes it. I hope she's in the frame, but there she is, the birthday girl. Okay, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a conspiracy, or so-called conspiracy, that I found out about a couple years ago, and it seems to fit in with this latest push for, a space troop or whatever it is. Okay, a few years ago, I read up on some things and kind of clutched pearls, but remember that Nazis basically helped us to get NASA started through that Operation Paperclip after the war, where we brought over the scientists, and then Russia got a few too. I don't remember what they called it, and England did as well, but we called it Operation Paperclip. If you're not familiar, take a gander. I'm not going to rip through the video at the speed of light, sorry. If you can't look at more than a minute, then I don't know what to say. Break it up into sections throughout the day. I can't stay long anyway. So this Warner von Braun, or Warner von Braun, I like, it's fun to do. He was the leader of all this jazz, and was instrumental in, I think, the V8. V8? Is that right? Rocket? That sounds like a drink you have. Wow, I could have had a V8. The V something rocket, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure. But he had this assistant, or a woman, with whom he worked pretty closely, and she was a lot younger, and he basically, I don't know if he was like sick then or dying or just being honest or whatever. I guess he had a change of heart in older life and maybe even got some religion, from what I've heard. Doesn't matter. Bottom line is, he told this gal, whose name has escaped me. You'll have to Google this, I guess, or look it up on YouTube, or I'll try to find a video that goes over it, I suppose. And don't clutch pearls. I'm just passing on what I read a while ago and how it seems like it might be true. Okay. By the way, I'm not even wearing pearls to clutch. Okay. He mentioned that, in terms of this military-industrial complex, that the US of A, the belly of the beast, always has to have a boogeyman. And at first it was communism. You remember that. We must stop communism and all that jazz. And then he said the next thing would be, I don't know if I'm getting this in the correct order, but one of the things would be, after that, sort of taking down dictators and people that are oppressing their people, and we have to storm in and drop loving bombs on them to get them out of the situation. That never made sense to me, but hey, you'll have that. And then he mentioned that there would be this push against terrorism, like the war on terror, which is, if you really think about that, it's like a war on an ideology or something. It seems like it'd be a never-ending thing, and I think that's what they wanted. And he said, and very last, there will be some sort of, like an alien invasion. And he said, but the thing is, none of these are true. Like, communism was never really a threat. These dictators and, taking over and all that jazz was not a real threat. Nor was the terrorism. A lot of that is, agent provocateurs, or people that get in and do things and claim somebody else did it. False flags, that's what they're called. So this whole other thing about the alien invasion, I thought, Holy Ghost, I saw his first 3 points pretty clearly over the years. And it's not just him who said it, but that's the one with whom I'm most familiar. Other people have looked into it as well. And then when, that's Marie wanting out, when Donald Trump came out yesterday with this Space Force, or whatever he wants to call it, it just seems like that could be it. That could be what they are aiming, ladies and gentlemen. I know it sounds strange, but you just remember, I am strange. Also, I look at conspiracies, so you don't have to, but this one, seems like it's on target, for lack of a better description. This suddenly we'll be faced with this threat from outside the Earth atmosphere, whatever the case may be, and it's all basically staged, is the point. Now, if you remember, you can even go back and look at a video. President Reagan, I believe he was addressing the United Nations. It wasn't Congress. I'm almost sure it was UN. When he said something like, imagine how much the world would change if we were faced with a hang on, let me think of it. Threat that was outside of this world, like, I think he was alluding to aliens in some way, or, advanced cultures, whatever you want to call them, that don't live on Earth, galactic brothers, whatever. how the world would come together and fight that, basically. I believe if you just go to YouTube and type in, I don't know, UN, Reagan, alien or something, it might come up. So that's all. You know, I know this is a stranger than usual video, but consider the source. I just thought yesterday when I heard this whole thing unfold, I was really sickened over it because, you know, setting aside the alien threat or whatever you want to call it, or the false flag having to do with that, the whole idea with putting more money into the military-industrial complex, when people are really suffering and hurting and need help and, you know, taking away social programs and all that jazz, it's very bothersome and upsetting. So, all right, with that, I'm off. I'll let this all sink in. Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Join me, join others. Join Zoe. Drop your political identities. Let's focus on issues. Leave labels at the door. Research before you judge. And remember that war is a racket. Don't take my word for it. Check out General Smedley Butler. I hope she was in the frame. Love you.